If you're delivering online education in 2025 onwards, then competing on quantity or quality of info is no longer a viable strategy. With the adoption of AI, with its speed and efficacy of becoming the world's greatest expert in any area, your audiences, your customers, and your clients are not looking for info alone. What they are looking for is for environments or experiences that help them take that information into implementation and to receive a transformation that you're versed in, that you have an authority experience in. After running hundreds of live sessions over the last decade, including one-on-one group coaching calls, breakout rooms, masterclasses, paid and free sessions, as well as teaching hundreds of creators within Time to Build how to do the same, it boggles my mind with how many people overlook the actual delivery of the live experience and are instead focused on the information. I'm recording this video to give you a couple of easy levers to immediately stand out with the quality of the live presentations or sessions that you run for your customers and for your community. What I noticed is there seems to be this disconnect between how people are willing to make an effort when they show up in an offline environment. They'll take their time to look good, they'll be punctual, they'll be there on time, they'll present their best foot forward. But yet when I see how people show up online, it sometimes makes me want to reach through the screen, strangle them, and get them to get their act together. They're half-hearted, they're operating on webcams where you can count the number of pixels, and that often acts as a very strong signal to their standards or how invested or how committed they are to whatever the exchange or whatever the live session may be. And love it or hate it, we all judge each other. That is just human nature. So if it's gonna happen anyway, you'd be best off ensuring people are judging you off a perception that you've crafted or you've intentionally curated online. In fact, even if someone doesn't mention it, they are subconsciously judging so many other aspects of you based on your appearance and how you're showing up. That could be your competence and expertise, especially if you're looking to work with someone or they're looking to work with you, the quality of your services and what they can expect, or even your professionalism. It's just how we operate. In fact, if this is the first video of me that you've ever watched, you probably judged me within the first 3-4 seconds based on the quality of my setup, my environment, the audio, and my camera. Fully aware of it, even if I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm not suggesting that we want to operate in a game of smoke and mirrors where you have a super flashy front end and then garbage out the back, aka your services are terrible, but your front end is flashy. No, ideally, and I will always say this, first, be really good at what you do. You can try to put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig. So whatever it is that you do, be world class at what you do. Take pride in your work, put love into what you deliver and what you provide to your customers or to the marketplace. But amplifying that with a really sharp, dialed in live experience will do wonders of increasing the perceived value of what you have to offer, which is really one of the key levers you have to differentiate in an incredibly crowded online space where you're competing with professional brands, personal brands, AI brands, and who knows what's going to be alive or operating at the time you're watching this video. So to make sure you don't get swept into the sea of commoditized educators that are all saying the same things, looking the same, and not really making any effort to stand out and deliver a world-class experience, I'm gonna give you a really simple power up to how you deliver these live sessions so that you can get similar results to what you're seeing on screen right now. If you're watching this, you probably happen to have one of these things. This here is an iPhone 13. This is an iPhone 16. These are now both outdated, but any iPhones made in the last 5 to 10 years, again, depending on the time of your recording, are capable of acting as a webcam. So little do you know that you actually have a $1,500 webcam sitting in your pocket by your side, or that you're probably watching this on, that will radically increase the perceived quality of your live experiences. See, Apple rolled out a free update called Continuity Camera, which lets you use your iPhone as a webcam alongside your Mac, whether that's a Mac Studio or a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. There's so many friends or creators in my world who are surprised that you can even do this. They haven't discovered this feature yet. And I know this because I've been getting inundated with so many questions about how I do this whenever I post Instagram stories and I do multiple camera setups using my iPhone. I get people asking me on Zoom, like, how do I get primo quality? What camera am I using? And others that are asking me like, how do I upgrade from the FaceTime camera and actually make it work with the Mac that you have available? It's one of the most advanced smartphone cameras available to us. I actually prefer using an iPhone now as my webcam rather than the fancy camera that you're currently watching this video on. This one's a big step up. It's a big mess around. You got to plug it in and use an adapter and all this stuff. Your iPhone just works perfectly as long as it's on the same Wi-Fi network. And that's why often I use it in favor, but yet I still get more compliments because of just how well it works with the ecosystem. There's no lag and it comes through with real clarity. So if you're curious on how to set this up for your next masterclasses, your workshops, whatever you're running, it's really simple. You need an iPhone that is introduced in 2018 or onwards. So if you're due for an upgrade, now's a great time. And having a Mac, that could be a MacBook Air, a Studio, or Pro that has Ventura or later. If you want more information on whatever the latest OS is, I'm just going to include a link in the description so you can check out or download the latest one and figure out which one that you've currently got. Now, option number one for getting this one set up is you use something called a MagSafe mount. So you buy a MagSafe compatible iPhone case and you have it on, and then you buy yourself something called a Belkin iPhone mount. You can use whatever brand is available. I'm sure there's plenty of cheaper or different alternatives. I just went with Belkin because I believe in once you pay for quality, you only cry once, and this one hasn't failed me because you're clipping it just over the lip of your MacBook if you are using a laptop in this case, and just sits just like there on top. So you have it on the MacBook, that's where the magnet sits in, and it sits over there. And as long as you're not moving around the table too much, it stays really, really steady and locked into your scene. And you can also change it from the 0.5 lens, the 1x lens, or the 3x lens. You can actually dance between all of them, blur the background, use center stage, and all that good stuff. Massive upgrade from the default FaceTime camera. Or option two, if you want to get a little bit fancier, you can use a tripod with a mount and a clamp to hold your phone in place. Put it in a position where you're planning to have eye contact with your camera. Ideally, your camera is going to be positioned as closely as possible to where your participants are going to be on your live call. So whether it's Zoom, Google Meets, or Teams, I prefer using a laptop where I'm going to have my Zoom screen, and then on my monitor, I'll have all of the materials or the slides that I'm then sharing. And so I'll make sure that my iPhone is as close as possible to that laptop. And as you can see over here, in this case, I use a Joby Grip Type Pro 2 mount on an Elgato Mount L. I'll include links to those below. They won't be affiliated. They're just here if you want to use them. Place it in this horizontal alignment, as you can see over here. And kind of like what we had before, you want to place that camera as close as possible to where all of your participants are going to be in your live call, looking a little bit like this. And that's really it, my friend. Once you plug it in and you make sure you've got the latest model, you actually just need to cycle through the video camera settings that you've got, and you should see the iPhone model that you've got, whether it says iPhone 13 Pro or your first name iPhone. Cycle through and you should be able to find it. You're going to immediately elevate the perceived quality of your workshops and your presentations. And even as a bonus tip, you can actually use it if you're recording course materials. So if you're recording some pre-recorded materials you want your students to work through, whether you use it in OBS or any other software that can record, you can again use your iPhone as your primary shooting camera. So there's no need to upgrade to a fancy mirrorless camera that's going to be thousands of dollars with big expensive lenses and really steep learning curve. You can actually use your iPhone itself and use that to record content. As long as you have great lighting and your environment is clean, free of clutter, it's going to operate really well. And for most people watching content, 99% of people aren't going to be tell the difference between what comes out of your iPhone and what comes out of professional cameras. So highly recommend making use of that. Now that you've enhanced the visual quality of your live sessions, the next area to focus on would be your audio. And so if you were listening or watching ahead and being like, damn, Mamba's got some buttery smooth audio coming through, this here is a Shure MV7 microphone. It's been outdated multiple times since being released, but if you grab anything within the Shure range of this nature, they often have a USB input and also an XLR cable input. USB for the beginners, XLR if you're intermediate or advanced. And this is a no-brainer upgrade if you're delivering live or doing coaching of this nature. You don't want to use the crummy microphones that usually come with like AirPods or AirPod Pros or like any cabled and wired kind of microphones. So if you are interested in this microphone, some of the upgrades I've made to it, so it sounds like $1,000 microphone, but only really cost me a couple of $100. I've made this video, so if you're interested, I'll see you there. But if not, I hope this video served you, and I'll see you on the next one.